Okay, class 10. Today we will discuss about the chapter variation. It is a very important chapter in Madhyamik exam. Okay, so let's start with the topic variation. Before going to the formal definition of variation, at first we have to know what do we mean by quantity. What is quantity? So here I have written quantity. Anything which is measurable. Anything which is measurable is known as quantity. Anything that you can measure is known as the quantity. Like height. You can measure height, that's why height is a quantity. Weight, you can measure weight also. So weight is another quantity. Time, you can measure time, it is quantity. Number of pen, you can count it, that means you can measure it, so it is a quantity. Number of days, you can count it, so it is another quantity. So these are the example of quantity. So what is quantity? Simple thing, anything and everything which is measurable is known as quantity. Okay, now my question is, if I provide you any two quantities like A and B, suppose A is a quantity, B is another quantity, then how many relations are there between A and B? That means between any two quantities, how many relations can be defined? How many relations can be defined? Now look at here, I have given a diagram here. So what does it mean? It is increasing. This direction is increasing, vertically upward, and vertically downward means it is decreasing. So it may happen that both the quantities are increasing. Both the quantities are increasing. It may happen that both the quantities are decreasing. The third case, the first quantity increasing, as in that case the second quantity will be decreased. Okay, the fourth situation is, if first quantity decrease, then the second quantity B will be increased. So these are the entire thing. Between two given quantities, these four relations can be defined. Okay, no other relations can be defined on two quantities. Now we have to understand this thing, these four things. That is these four situations when two quantities are increased simultaneously, when two quantities are decreased simultaneously, when this happen or this happen. Okay, so I have given here four situations for these four cases. Situation 1. At first look at situation 1. W means number of workers. Okay, W means number of workers. D means number of days, and J means job, portion of job. So W means number of workers, and you know number of workers is a quantity because you can count it. D, number of days, it is again a quantity because you can measure it. J means the portion of job. The portion of job is also be measured, that's why it is also a quantity. Clear? Now look at this table. 10 workers can finish one third of job, one third portion of job in 5 days. Okay, try to understand. 10 workers are there, they have finished one third portion of job in 5 days. Okay, now if 20 workers are there, that means the number of workers has increased. 10 to 20, the number of workers has increased. If 20 workers are provided to you, then if I provide you 5 days, then 20 workers working for 5 days, how much job will be finished in that case? How much portion of the job will be finished in that case? This can be calculated, but we are only interested about the increasing and decreasing factor. If the number of workers has increased, if the number of worker is increasing and number of days is fixed, then portion of the job will be increased or decreased. Naturally that will be increased as number of workers has increased, so portion of job will be increased if the day is fixed. Okay, so here you can observe this quantity W is increasing, as well as this quantity J is also increasing. So in this situation, in this table, in this situation, we can find the first one. Both the quantities are increasing, increasing and increasing. Got it? So situation 1 has done. Now go for situation 2. Again, W means worker, number of workers, D means number of days, J means portion of job. Now number of workers, again the same table, 10 workers can finish 1/3 portion of any job in 5 days. Okay. Now number of workers has decreased, 10 to 2. Number of workers has decreased, but day is fixed. So 2 workers working for 5 days, how much portion of the job will be finished, that can be calculated, but we are interested about the decreasing or increasing factor. Whether it is increasing or decreasing, obviously that will be decreasing, because number of workers have decreased. 2 members, 2 workers working for 5 days, naturally the portion of the job will be finished less. The portion of the job will be finished less, that is decreasing. Okay, as number of workers are decreasing. So you can observe both are decreasing. The second case, the second situation. Now look at the third situation. Again, number of workers, number of days, portion of job. 10 workers, 5 days, 1/3 portion of job has been finished. Now, suppose number of workers has increased. 10 to 20, number of workers has increased. Here the portion of the job is constant. Portion of the job is constant. No change for portion of the job. Then the question is, the days will be increased or decreased. It is very easy to understand. If number of workers has increased and they have to finish the same portion of job, then the number of days will be decreased. Less number of days will be required. Less number of days will be required, right? If number of workers has increased. So in that case, the first quantity W is increasing and the second quantity D is decreasing. The third case. Okay, the last situation, situation 4. Almost same example. 10 workers can finish 1/3 portion of job in 5 days. Okay, very good. Now, if I provide you only 4 workers, then number of workers has decreased. The job is constant. That is, these 4 workers has to finish. They have to finish same portion of job. Then the requirement of days will be increased or decreased. Naturally it is increased, because the number of workers has decreased. So to finish the same portion of job, we need more days. That is increasing. So first quantity, that is number of workers, decreased. In that case, the number of days will be increased. This is the fourth situation. Is that clear? So ultimately what we have? We have what is quantity. Quantity is anything which is measurable. These are the example of quantities. Now, relation between 2 quantities. Okay, A and B, B2 quantities. Then 4 possible relations are there. Maybe they both are increasing. Maybe they both are decreasing. And in these 2 cases, they are of contrary direction. They are of opposite direction. Got it? Now, look at here. So all the 4 situations has discussed. Now, if 2 quantities A and B behaves alike means they both are increasing or they both are decreasing. Okay, in any of the cases, we can claim that these 2 quantities are related with direct variation. If they are related with direct variation, if they behaves alike, but if they behaves contrary, behaves in opposite manner, then these 2 quantities will be involved in inverse relation or inverse variation or indirect variation. So 2 types of variations are there. Number 1, direct variation or inverse or indirect. When 2 relations or 2 variations will be said direct variation, if they behaves alike, either they behaves in both increasing direction or both in decreasing direction. And when they are called the inverse relation or inverse variation, if they are of contrary direction, they are in contrary direction. That means if the first quantity increase, the second quantity will be decreased. If the first quantity decrease, the second quantity will be increased. Okay, so these 2 types of variations are there. Now, what is the notation? Notation of direct variation. The first one. The notation of the direct variation is A is proportional to B. This is the sign of proportion. This is the sign of proportion or direct variation. Okay. So if we find that two quantities A and B are involved in direct proportion or direct variation, then we can denote it like A varies as B directly. Okay, this is the notation for direct variation. And this is the notation for indirect or inverse variation. If we find two quantities A and B are in inverse proportion or in inverse variation, then we can denote it like this: A proportional with 1 by B, the reciprocal. Okay, so this is the notation. Try to remember, this is the notation. But this proportion sign should be removed, because without removing the proportion sign we cannot find any equation, and without having any equation we cannot solve any problem. Simple thing. Now, how to find the equality? Suppose A is proportional to B and we want the equality, that is an equation. But to find the equation or to construct the equation, to form the equation, we need to introduce a constant. We need to introduce a constant K. So A is proportional to B, that means A is equals to some constant into B. Okay, A is proportional to 1 by B. Similar thing, that means A is equals to some constant. Introduction of constant is much more important in that case, because without introducing any constant we cannot find this equation. Okay, so A equals to some constant into 1 by B. This constant K is known as constant of proportion. This constant K is known as constant of proportion. Okay, so ultimately what we have? Direct proportion. For direct proportion, if you observe, A equals to K into B, from here we can write A by B equals to K. Simple sense of equation. Simple sense of equation. From here we can write A by B equals to K. And for this case we have A into B equals to K. So for direct proportion, the ratio of the quantity is constant. For direct proportion, this is the sign of direct proportion. For direct proportion, the ratio of the quantities equals to constant. And for inverse proportion or inverse variation, the product of the quantities is equals to constant. That I have written A by B, A and B two quantities, their ratio is constant for direct inverse for direct proportion or direct variation, and for inverse variation or indirect variation, their product is constant. Got it? So this is the way that how to detect the relation between two quantities. If I provide you a set of tables, a set of numbers, in fact a table depending on two quantities, then you can detect whether what is the relation between the quantities. Okay, we can solve many more problems that will be discussed later. So is that clear? So in that case we have the notation. This is the notation for direct inverse, the direct proportion. This is inverse proportion, and for direct proportion or direct variation, the ratio of the quantities equals to constant, and for inverse variation, the product of the quantities is equals to constant. Okay, two types of variations are there, direct and inverse. Got it? Now look at joint variation. What is joint variation? Suppose two variations are there. Let us take three quantities A, B and C. A, B, C are three quantities, and I think you know what is quantity. Now among these three quantities, between A and B we have taken the direct variation. That is, A and B are related with direct variation, and A and C, these two quantities are related with inverse variation, direct variation, inverse variation. Now if we are interested to combine these two variations, then what can be written? Then we can take the help of joint variation. By JV means by joint variation, we can write A, because you can observe the left hand side A here, also the left hand side A here, so the common thing is A right here. A is proportional with, What is the right hand side? It is B. The right hand side is 1 by C. Take the product. Take the product of the right hand side. That is B into 1 by C. B into 1 by C. Right? So ultimately we have A proportional with B by C. Got it? Ultimately, if we convert this variation relation into the equation, then we have to introduce some constant. We know that. Now K is this constant, K playing the role of constant of variation. So A equals to K into B by C. Now simple sense of equation will give you, if we take these two terms to the left hand side, so A into C by B equals to constant. Clear? Now look at another example. Suppose again A, B, C are three quantities. A, B, C are three quantities. Now A and B are related with inverse relation. A and B are related with inverse relation. B and C related with inverse relation. Now, here you can ask me a question. Sir, in the first case, we can find a common quantity at the left hand side. We can find a common quantity at left hand side, A. But here, there is no common quantity at left hand side as well as right hand side. So in that case, what can be done? In that case, you have to observe this thing at first. A is proportional to B, that is direct proportional to B, implies B is direct proportional to A. That is, if A is directly proportional with B, then B will be also directly proportional with A. This one, if C and D being any two quantities, if C is inversely proportional with D, C is inversely proportional with D, not 1 by D. C is inversely proportional with D, implies D is inversely proportional with C. So, direct proportion or inverse proportion are actually mutual relation. A is directly proportional with B, that means B is directly proportional with B. Mutual. C and D, mutually inverse. Okay, so A is proportional to 1. Now look at here. A is proportional to 1 by B, that means B is proportional to 1 by A. Simple thing we can write. And then the second relation is this one, which is same. Now you can find the same quantity at the left hand side. Okay, now the process is similar as in case 1. Take the similar quantity, that is B, proportional to the product of the right hand side, that is 1 by A into 1 by C, that is 1 by AC. Now to find the equational form, we have B equals to, we have to introduce some constant of proportion, which is K here, 1 by AC. Take this AC to the left hand side by using the sense of equation. So ultimately we have ABC equals to constant. So got it? So this is the concept of joint variation. In the joint variation, you can find 3 or more quantities. Now we have to take the relation between two quantities at a time. That is A and B, or B and C, or A and C, and then we can combine the relations. We can combine the variations by joint variation, like this. This is the process, and these two things should be remembered. A and B, if related with direct proportion, then B and A related with direct proportion, vice versa. Okay, C and D both are in joint variation. Now look at this example. In this example, it is given that X varies directly with Y and X varies inversely with Z. X, Y, Z are three quantities. X varies directly with Y and X varies inversely with Z. Clearly visible? And a set of values given. That is, if Y equals to 5 and Z equals to 9, then the value of X will be 1 by 6. It is given. We have to find out the relation among X, Y, Z. Okay. So at first, we can apply the concept of joint variation. At first, we can apply the concept of joint variation by taking these two relations. So, by joint variation, what can be written? We can write left hand side X and X. So, X is proportional with Y into 1 by Z, the product of the right hand side. That is, X is proportional with Y by Z. Now, we are interested about equational form. So, we have to introduce some constant. So, X equals to some constant K into Y by Z. K is the constant of proportion. K is constant, not equals to 0 obviously, not equals to 0, is constant of proportion or constant of variation. Okay, exactly, simple variation. Now from here what can be said? This is the relation, but here k is unknown for us at that stage. K is unknown for us. Now look at these values. Y equals to 5, z equals to 9. Then x will be equals to 1 by 6. Put the values of x, y, z here, we can find the value of k. Simple thing. If we put the values of x, y and z from the given set of values, we can find the value of k. Put it here. X is 1 by 6 equals to k into y. Y is 5, z is 9. So simple sense of equation, k is equals to 9 by 6 into 5. Okay, k equals to 9 by 6 into 5. Now cancelling the common factor, 3, 2, 3. So it is 3 by 10. So value of k is 3 by 10. Okay, as value of k is 3 by 10, now this relation can be written like x equals to 3 by 10 into y by z. So ultimately we have 10xz equals to 3y. This is the relation among the quantities x, y and z. Got it? So first question has done. Now we have to find out the value of x when it is given that y equals to 6, z equals to 1 by 5. Simple thing. Again we have this relation 10xz equals to 3y. This relation is working. So in this relation you have to put y equals to 6 and z equals to 1 by 5. Then you can find the value of x. So ultimately we have 10 into x into z. The value of z is 1 by 5 equals to 3y. 3 into the value of y is 6. It is 2. So x equals to 18 by 2, that is 9. X equals to 9. So this is the answer of the second question. Got it? Very simple. That is example 2. Another kind of problem. It is given that x plus y is directly proportional with x minus y. Then we have to show is that s dot t means show that ax plus by is directly proportional with px plus qy. But it is given that a, b, p, q, these four quantities are non-zero constant. That is, they are non-zero constant. They cannot take the values of 0. So how can we proceed? Simple thing. It is given x plus y is directly proportional with x minus y. That means x plus y is equals to k into x minus y, because from direct proportion in the equational form we have to introduce some constant k. That is k not equals to 0 is a constant of variation. Okay, simple thing. Now from here we can write x plus y by x minus y equals to k. If we take this term to the left hand side, that will be x minus y. Okay, and it is, and the right hand side is k. Now k means k by 1. Now we can apply the componendo dividendo method. Componendo dividendo. X plus y plus x minus y by x plus y minus x minus y is equals to k plus 1 by k minus 1 using componendo dividendo method or componendo dividendo. Now if we remove the brackets, then we have x plus y plus x minus y by x plus y minus x plus y equals to k plus 1 by k minus 1. K is a constant, 1 is another constant. Naturally k minus 1 will be a constant, k plus 1, k minus 1 both are constant. Their ratio is another constant. Let us assume it as another constant like m. Okay, m. So what is m? M is nothing, it is k plus 1 by k minus 1. It is also not equals to 0 constant. Okay. Now cancelling the common term, So here ultimately we have 2x by x plus x, 2x by 2y, 2x by 2y, that is x by y, 2x by 2y equals to m, that is x by y equals to m. That means x equals to ym, where m is a constant, okay. I am cancelling it, I am removing this thing. Now what is our target? Our target is to show this one varies directly with this one. Now we know that two quantities A and B will be in direct variation if their ratio is constant, correct? Two quantities A and B will be in direct variation if their ratio is constant. Now let us take the ratio ax plus by by px plus qy. If we can show that this ratio is equals to constant, then we can say this one is directly varies with this one, okay. Now simple thing, you have to substitute the value of x here. So a into, instead of x we can write ym, so aym plus by p into x, x means 8 ym is the value of x plus qy. Now if you take common y, then ultimately we have am plus b, again from the denominator, y into pm plus q. Y will be cancelled out because the value of the variable cannot be 0 in the variation. Now look at here, a, b, p, q, they all are constant, as well as capital M, it is also a constant, that was written. So everything involved here, they are constant, and their combination of different operation will give you another constant. Suppose it is L is another constant, okay, or in short we can write it is constant. That means this one by this one equals to constant, that is ratio of two quantities equals to constant. As the ratio of two quantities constant, we can say ax plus by is directly proportional with px plus qy. That's all, okay.